The last vlog we filmed, we looked at the no overnight parking signs that seem to be appearing more and more. And we promised you that we'd film the other side of the coin. So whilst these parking signs are going up, there's actually people that are welcoming van lifers, putting things on for van lifers, making it easy for us to park.
Because we know that even though some of you sort of use your van for basically that feeling of escape, that feeling of freedom, some of you are living in vans, there is a lot of apprehension, if not panic, about where van life is going to go in the future. And so we're going to show you, we're not fortune tellers, we don't know for certain, but we're going to show you where we think it's heading and what alternatives there are at the moment.
So we're going to show you the different park ups, the different things that are available where people are actively helping van lifers to park up. And we're in the Yorkshire Dales, so the Yorkshire Dales is perfect for this. And there's so many different options that we're going to take you through. We're going to show you how to find them, all that. But we thought it was just so important to balance this kind of negative view that van life's ending and let's all start protesting, and van life isn't ending. If you saw last week's vlog, you'll know that we've kind of got another solution for that, so check that out if you've not seen that already. But yeah, van life's still easy, and while there's still loads and loads of places to wild camp, what we're about to show you is essentially the other side of the coin, people putting on fantastic facilities and places for people to stay. So we're currently in Kettlewell in the beautiful Yorkshire Dales, God's own country, and we're just going to start off by showing you this little car park. So the National Park car park down there, you're not allowed to stay in, are you?
And that's the same for any national park in the Yorkshire Dales. So you might find online, when you go online, you can see that you can park overnight, you can park up for like up to 7 days, really cheap parking ticket. But unfortunately, that is specifically says does not include staying in your van overnight. It's for vehicles that are left unoccupied. So you'll find there are some car parks that allow it, but the national park ones don't. But this is a good alternative. So this car park works on like an honesty box scheme, which I think is the best scheme possible anyway. And it's £5 overnight. We've stayed here loads of times in the past. It's absolutely brilliant. You get a really peaceful night's sleep. And literally just a stone's throw away is like a campsite that costs you, I think it's like 30 quid a night or something like that. And obviously you don't get the same facilities that you get in a campsite, but if you're wanting to do more of a wild camp, this is kind of closest you're going to sort of get where you know that you're permitted to be here. It expressly says you're permitted to be here, which I know a lot of people who have these fears about kind of doing wild camping, because it doesn't say that you can't, but it doesn't say that you can, and they have this kind of panic about getting a knock on the van and what have you. And we've told you so many times, we've never had that. Like, we just don't have that. We don't have any problems with that at all. We've been doing it for years and we have no issues with that. But if you are scared of doing it, if you do feel apprehensive, these places are really, really good. And the money quite often goes like into either back into the community, or some of them go to charity, and some of them go to like sort of small business owners. So you're putting that money back into the community while you're doing it. And you can park here all day as well, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, there's a lot of doom and gloom at the minute, understandably so. We did a video on the no overnight parking signs as well, but there's a lot of other YouTubers, like including ourselves, have pointed out these no overnight parking signs, as I say, and we're positive people, we're optimistic, positive people, as you know, and so van life's not over. Like,
absolutely
it's
not. And there's a lot of unrest in the world at the minute, I think. You know, I think people are kind of ranging from feeling a bit uneasy to feeling really panicked. And when you feel like that, a lot of the time all you want to do is really escape. And take off in your van and escape the world, you know. So there is a lot of unrest at the moment around.
So what we're going to do first is grab a coffee, something to eat in this little cafe, put him back into the community. Daisy's barking because she wants a dinner. And then we're going to continue chatting and explaining kind of why these are so good, why these places are cool. And then, like I say, we're going to show you throughout the vlog all the different places that you can park up, all the different kind of apps that you can use to find these places, and why van life's not over and why it's still really, really easy.
I think it's just time at the moment to try your very best to be positive. I am a firm believer that positivity outweighs negativity. So whatever is going on in the world, if you get kind of derailed and start to feel stressed out and wound up, that's where everything seems to go wrong.
So whether it's van life or other things you're worried about at the moment, it's just about staying positive. It's about finding your little corner of the world and enjoying it. The world is still beautiful. You know, a lot of the media, when you look on the media, the world's in chaos, and there's part of that is, right? There's no denying that. But if you find your kind of moments of joy, moments of happiness, it's still a beautiful world out there. The daffodils are still blooming, the little lambs are still hopping around. It's still a beautiful world. So it's just about staying positive, isn't it? It's about staying positive, and the whole vlog this week is about that. It's about the positives that are there. Yes, the no overnight signs are going up, as they always have, to be honest, but there's a lot of positives as well. So Kettlewell itself is a beautiful, beautiful little village. It's got a couple of cafes, a lovely little pub. Obviously, like I was showing you can stay here overnight, perfectly welcome. There's toilets there. I'm not quite sure how long the toilets are open for. I seem to remember that they are open all night, but I might be wrong on that. But it's just a lovely little village. Your typical quintessential Yorkshire Dales village. It's absolutely gorgeous.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin.
Where we've just been to is basically a really good example of like the honesty box system. So you get these in like churches, privately owned land like the one you've just looked at. You also get them in like kind of community centre car parks, things like that. We park in places like that quite often. They're really, really handy, especially in like little villages and towns where you want to get into the centre. And they range like, so sometimes they're sort of a donation. So you decide how much you want to spend basically, and you decide what it's worth or how much money you've got or things like that. Other times they're kind of set at like £3, £5, £10. It's really, really important though with stuff like that you actually, you know, do be honest with it, do leave your money in it, because we find that places like that can get shut down quite often if people are not being honest, if they're not using it properly. And we don't want stuff like that to happen, obviously. And I think that the reason these are set up by like local landowners, churches, community centres, places like that, is because they see the benefit of you coming into their town. Obviously, they're not council owned most of the time when they're run by like an honesty box system.
So this is the next place that we wanted to show you. It's called Seamer Water. It's absolutely stunning. It's really cold and really windy out here today, so I'm going to do my best. I hope you can hear me on the audio. Emma's shivering inside there. She's going to get a brew on in a second. But yeah, Seamer Water is another one where you can essentially make a donation to stay here. You're right by the lake. It's perfect for wild swimming on a bit of a nicer day. It's too cold for me to get in there today, but it's absolutely perfect. The scenery is just breathtaking, and it's just another one of those places. Again, the Yorkshire Dales is littered with these places. You know, there's one in Malham that's really cool where a farmer charges you £5 to stay on his field, and this is another one of those like this. As you can see, there's lots and lots of vans parked up here. It's a popular spot. Everybody always keeps it nice and tidy, and it's just a perfect Yorkshire Dales beautiful spot to stay overnight. I'm going to show you here. So it says motor vehicles may be parked on the foreshore, where we're parked now, for a fee of £3 there is payable to Mr Metcalf of Lowbleen Farm. Permission to stay overnight must be obtained from the farm. So there's basically a farm down there. I think it's slightly more expensive in the summer, if I remember rightly. So you go to the farm, you pay your donation, he says yes, you can stay here, and it's just a perfect spot, and it's really kind of him to do that. It's really nice of him of the farm to kind of put this on for people, and literally says there that motorhomes are allowed to park here. The contrast from no overnight parking signs and stuff to actually signs that say yes, you're welcome here, yes, you're allowed to stay here, yes, for a very small donation you can, you know, you can park up here, you can enjoy this beautiful spot. So that's kind of what we wanted to show you in this vlog, as I say, like, is is the contrast where people are actively going, yeah, of course you can park here, you're more than welcome to stay here. It's just a vast difference, isn't it? So this isn't actually going to be our park up tonight. We're going to show you yet another place, because we just kind of want to give you a wide range of places really that you can stay in the Yorkshire Dales. And of course other towns, councils, places do this as well. It just so happens that we're in the Yorkshire Dales, so we're using this as an example, but of course this is nationwide. Any place, any national park, any location in the United Kingdom, there will be places like this that are putting things on for van lifers. And van life is, you know, it's still easy. There's still people that want people, that appreciate people like van lifers coming to the local town, coming to the countryside. So it's not all doom and gloom. There are still positives and van life is still possible. Let's get on to the next place. I'll show you this next one.
If you're wondering where you can find these sort of places on the apps and stuff that we've shown you before, if you use the Park for Night app, what you'll find is that there's various different symbols on there. This one is classed as like a kind of P for the parking and a blue symbol. It obviously relies on everybody putting it on under the right category, if you like, and not everybody knows what to put them on under. But most of the time for these sort of places where they're owned by like local farmers, it's maybe like local kind of farmland where you've just got a field that you can park in and pay a fiver for the night or whatever, you'll find them under like a tractor symbol. So you'll see on like the Park for Night here, there's like a little tractor symbol there, and that shows you that it's local farmers, local farmland, where they're renting out a space that they own for people to come and pay and park. You've also got other things where you've got a kind of like it looks like a motorhome in like a blue circle. So you'll see on the Park for Night app that you get the motorhome in the red circle, and those are usually like campsites, paid campsites. But the ones that are in the light blue circle, which you'll sort of see on this one here, those are the ones that are usually like kind of pubs and places like that where you can go and park in those, and we'll tell you how you do that and tell you a bit more about that a little bit later on. But basically, app, and there's loads of other apps you can use as well. They all have like their own symbols to basically separate what type of parking it is, whether it be a wild camp, a farmer's land or community land, or whether it be like a pub, air type place, whether it be a paid campsite. So you can easily just have a look on there and pick where you want to go really. So you can do it for free in terms of your wild camping, or you can pay sort of small amounts of money in terms of these types of places.
As I say, we're going to go now and show you the next place, and it'll be another example of these people that are actively allowing vans, motorhomes to park up overnight for a very, very small fee. So yeah, let's hit the road, let's get to the next place.
Great British weather. Where's spring gone? Where's spring gone? I think
It's
that's
not coming. It's not coming back.
No, it's because we were miserable last week. It was a week. That's what it was.
You were miserable.
I was moaning over my tooth, and we were miserable about the signs, and it's brought the bad weather with it. Look, we're being positive. We'll bring a bit of sunshine back for you all. We'll bring a bit of sunshine. Wait till you see this place. This is an absolutely fantastic place to park up, and there are literally hundreds of thousands of these places all over the UK. Van life is not dead, I promise you 100%.
Obviously, in terms of the wild park-ups, the wild camps, like that's our favourite. We'll always wild camp, we'll always find places. Yes, we need to do the litter picking, the sending letters to the councils and national parks like you saw in the last vlog. That all still stands, just because we don't want to see more of those signs coming up. It's better to be proactive in a really positive way than kind of see more of those signs coming up. But there's still hundreds and hundreds of places to wild park and wild camp. This vlog, as you're seeing because you're watching it, is just about showing you the other side of the coin, as I said, and I keep saying, of people that are actively putting nice places on for van lifers to park up, besides the wild camping that already kind of happens. It was just that we thought that we needed to show the balance between people putting these signs up saying blaming camper vans for litter and everything that you saw in the last vlog, and a big contrast to people that are saying, yeah, of course you can park up, come in, have a drink, which brings us on to this park up, which is actually a pub stopover. Now, pub stopovers are fantastic. This is one of the best pub stopovers. It's a well-known place, lots and lots of vans here today, and the views are absolutely spectacular.
Daisy boys. Put in. Come on, put in. You're covered in hair, Daisy.
This is another excellent stopover. Motorhomes and camper vans are welcome here. They've got toilets, they've got drinking water. Basically, all the facilities are free as long as you have a drink in the pub or a meal or something like that, like we just have. It's just great, isn't it? Yeah.
It's fantastic, and they've got so many of these. There's a really good one up at Gretna Green, isn't there?
Yeah, Gretna Green.
And
They've
they've
got a great one
showers
up in
and stuff up
Scotland.
there as well. And again, all free as long as you have something to eat. So, you know, some of them are specifically you have to buy a meal, some buy a drink. You know, but they're all, it's just welcoming, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really welcoming.
And there's literally endless pub stopovers, and they usually just want you to have a drink, they just want you to have something to eat, and they've usually got facilities like this that are available, which is just fantastic, and the views here are absolutely incredible, they're absolutely amazing. Again, this is not our stopover tonight, it's just another example. So we're now going to head to our stopover. This is going to be our park up. This is probably one of our favourites. We have been to this one before that we're about to go to. So we're going to hit the road, we're going to show you that, and then we're going to get a brew, because we need a brew. So if anybody's wondering where this place is, it's called Ribblehead Viaduct, and it's basically between the three peaks. So you've got Penigent, Whernside and Ingleborough Mountain. If you're brave enough, you can do one or all three of the peaks. It's not for the faint-hearted. I did do all three when I was really young and a lot fitter than I am now. And then sort of a few years ago, I did, I think, Ingleborough Mountain, which is, it's not easy. For me anyway. But there's some lovely walks around here, some easier walks, the views are spectacular. You can go in there, have a meal, have a drink, stay here for the price of a drink or a meal, and yeah, toilets, drinking water, fill up on your water. It's just fantastic. Right, let's hit the road and let's go to what is going to be our park up for tonight, which is another incredible spot. So this is our park up for tonight. It's Ingleton Community Centre. So you can get a weekly ticket here for £18, £6 per evening in Green Marks Bays. You can stay here for 7 nights. So you can pay £18 for 7 nights basically, or it's £6 a night. That's just incredible, isn't it? They have got toilets that are open, if I remember rightly anyway. They're open all night here. You're welcome to stay. There's Marks Bays for motorhomes, so you're absolutely welcome. It's another one that they've put on at the community centre where they're kind of saying, yes, you're absolutely welcome to stay here, no problems at all. For relatively cheap for what it is, and you're right pretty much in the centre of Ingleton, which is beautiful. If you like walking, you like waterfalls, things like that, it's absolutely beautiful. The good thing about this place as well is it's literally kind of 5-10 minutes from that Ribblehead, so you kind of got around this area, you've got two, and all the ones we've shown you today have literally been off the top of our head. We literally went off the top of our heads, which ones can we remember in this little area? So you've got to remember that this is just in a little area, it's just in this area of the Yorkshire Dales. So imagine how many there are of these places that are actually welcoming camper vans, motorhomes, van lifers across the United Kingdom. There must be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of places to stop, and that's without wild parking. So obviously wild parking, like I said, despite some signs going up, and we do need to do something about that, which is where the litter picking scheme comes in, there are still hundreds of thousands of places, not even exaggerating, where you can wild camp. It's just nice that people are actively going, do you know what? We understand that people can, you know, that villages, towns can benefit from van life as motorhomes. Let's put somewhere safe, somewhere where they can park up, somewhere that's not too expensive. £18 or whatever it was for 7 nights is incredible. You can literally come on holiday here for a week and enjoy hiking, enjoy the little villages, especially in summertime. Obviously, my hands are freezing, so we're going to go in and make a brew in a minute, but it's just epic, innit? Little Daisy's shivering. Are you cold, Daisy? Don't stick your tongue out at me. Sticking a tongue out at all viewers.
This place is really similar to a deal that they have in Shropshire. I don't know if it's still going, I'm presuming it is, but we haven't been in a while. But you can pay, it's exactly the same amount, it's like £17 for the whole week, but you can stay in any of their car parks across Shropshire. So it allows you to be able to move around all different places, go and have a look at all the different little villages and towns and stuff, and you're paying the same price basically. It gives you a ticket that applies in any single car park. So there are really good deals that are going on, really good deals. And obviously for us, we don't want to be kind of shoved into where we can only stay in a car park. We don't want that to ever happen. We don't want it to be in a point when you can only stay there and you can't stay anywhere else. We love Europe. We love the fact that Europe gives us free parking. Absolutely unbelievable. I'll let Reese tell you about some of those car parks that you can get in Europe and what you're getting them. But they're absolutely amazing. They're like their airs over there. But again, we still like to stay wild camping. So we don't want it to end up where we can only do that. But in my mind, I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's happening is we're being given options of where we can park, wherever it seems to suit the local councils or whatever. Some places we're getting told, no, you can't park there, and yet I know there's more sort of signs going up about that. I'm not denying that. There does seem to be a bit of an influx in signs, but that has happened over the years on and off periodically, so it's nothing new, it's nothing scary. And I know there's quite a lot of people that have sort of contacted us and said, I've been thinking about doing van life, and I want to make that leap, I want to do something different, but now I'm terrified of doing it because it looks like they're going to ban it and they're going to stop everybody from doing it. I really don't see that's going to happen. I don't see how it could happen, to be perfectly honest with you. If they say you can't stay in your van and sleep in your van, then what you're meant to do when you're tired and you're driving. So that would put people at risk. So I really don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they're going to funnel people in sort of public areas, if you like, where there's a lot of people. They're going to funnel you into sort of designated areas. So towns, cities, that sort of thing, they're going to funnel you off into designated areas. But then your wild camping side, you're still going to have plenty of places where you can park. And in Scotland, you can roam wherever you want. They've got the freedom to roam up there, so there's loads and loads of places up there. So I really don't see it being eliminated completely. I'm not a fortune teller, but I don't see it being eliminated completely. I don't think we've got anything to worry about.
Oh, it's nice to be in a park up. It's nice to be in a park up like this. As I said, Ingleby and Ingleton are just absolutely amazing. Like, it's an amazing part of the world, is this. But yeah, talking about parts of the world, Europe is a different animal altogether. It really, really is. Like, the UK is great. We love the UK. We're not knocking the UK. But Europe is just so easy. So easy for van life and travelling. Like, their equivalent of these. So obviously wild camping's a thing in Europe. We've never had a problem. Remember, all these vlogs that we're telling you different things, we've never, ever in 13 years been moved on. We've never had the knock, we've never been moved on, we've never had a problem. And in Europe, it's just, there's wild parking, beautiful park ups in Europe. If you've followed us for a while, you'll know what we're talking about. But if you've never been to Europe or you're new here, Europe's just epic. Clifftop park ups from beautiful beaches with oceans. And then their airs in Europe are what is the game changer. So in France and Spain and Portugal, to be fair, you pull up in any town, any village, and there's a big blue motorhome symbol in every single place you go, and that's where you can park for free, no questions asked. It's beautiful, and that's all the time. On their kind of motorways, on their toll roads, you can pull off and there's picnic areas that you're welcome to stay in, and of course your motorway services, which unlike the UK are absolutely free. You can park there, no problems at all. A lot of the towns you go to, it'll say strictly limited to 3 nights. 3 nights? 3 nights for free, and that's where you park. It's specifically for motorhomes. A lot of them say motorhomes only, so you don't have cars parking up, it's just a motorhome stopover specifically within that town. And then they have the airs. Now, a lot of their airs, we pointed an incredible one out: free electricity, free park up. They've got a little bar on site, usually a park or something for the kids. Oftentimes they even have a swimming pool that you can use. That's usually a couple of euros or something to use the swimming pool, but everything else is free, and that is right across Europe. It is absolutely epic. And as I say, we will be going to Europe around summertime. If you watched our live last Tuesday, we mentioned that we will be going to Europe around summertime. We don't plan, so there's not really a solid plan, but we'll be spending considerable amounts of time in Europe this year. And so then we'll be able to point out and actually show you on the road what life is like on the road, what van life is like on the road in Europe, and where the UK can kind of learn from what they're doing. Europe's just absolutely incredible.
See, Scotland have learnt a little bit from Europe, I think, because they have, like, obviously, people park up, what have you, but they've got outside of the sort of your normal nature parking and stuff, your wild camping, you've got like airs in Scotland, and a lot of those are set up with toilets. Some of them are set up with showers, toilet emptying facilities, free fresh drinking water, and most of them are free. So you've got those set up all across Scotland, they're all over the place. So I do think they've learnt something from it, and I think it's just about not having your choice taken away. I think that's what people panic about. I think the panic that if they're bringing in this sort of stuff, then they're doing it because they're going to take your choice away to be able to pick where you want to park. And like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see how it could happen, to be honest with you. So I think it's just go out there, enjoy. If you want to do van life, do van life. If you want to go off and kind of be in your van just to escape the reality of the world for a weekend or a week here and there or a few days here and there or whatever it is, however it is that you travel in your van or you want to travel in a van, just go out and do it, because it's not this thing where everybody's clamping down and you can't do anything anymore. And the more that people kind of hype it up to be that, and the more that people talk about the fact that we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't do the other, the more it just makes people scared of doing it, which then whittles down that side, that community, if you like, that nomadic community. It whittles them down. And there are a lot of people who are in vans that think that's what needs to happen. We need to whittle it down so that we can just carry on like underneath the radar, travelling around, parking up and what have you. And the less of us that there is, the better, because the easier we can get away with it. But actually, the less of the community that there is, the less people there is to fight for it. So for me, it's about, making everybody welcome into that community, whether it's part-time, full-time, whether it's through necessity or choice. Everybody be welcome into that community. The week before last, we showed you the vlog of the no parking signs coming up. But this is why we've done this week, because we want to balance that out. We don't want people to be thinking, oh, you can't do it anymore, because that's just not the case. It really is not the case, in my view. And we've already mentioned Park for Night, and a few vlogs ago we did a vlog on where you can park in supermarket car parks and stuff like that, and we showed you the apps for those. There were 2 different apps for those, but there are also a few different apps that show you the airs, basically the UK airs. So they're usually like pub-based places, where you might be paying a £5 a night, or you might just be going in the pub to get something to eat or whatever. But there are various different apps around that show you where you can park in terms of airs, and there are also various different apps around that show you in terms of like farmers land, things like that, where you can park up. There's loads of places that do like farmland where you can park up if you're happy to pay a £5. It's just that if you're full-time, and that's the reason why we don't pay all the time to stay places, because if you're full-time, even if you're talking a £5 a night, 7 days a week, it adds up. So that's part of the reason, as well as the fact that we like to be in nature and we like to be out just by ourselves. But it is part of the reason why we wouldn't do that every single night of the week. And I'd assume it's probably part of the reason why a lot of people don't do it every night of the week, because it would add up pretty fast over a month. But if you're doing it, part-time, or you're just breaking up your month or whatever, there's plenty of apps out there that you can use.
We've got some exciting things coming up on Romany Pirates over the next few weeks and months. Some epic things, and we've also got some shock things coming up as well. A couple of shock announcements that I think are going to shock everybody. So make sure you hit the subscribe notification, and then go onto the bell and hit the notification bell as well, so that you can be alerted to when we put a video out. If you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up. Emma's got something to say to you as well before we dash off.
We're heading next week down south, basically. I've got to go somewhere for a meeting. We're going to a place that we love and we hate all at the same time. But this kind of refers back to really what Reese was saying earlier on about finding your little niche in the world when there's chaos around you, where you've just got your little beautiful place and your little beautiful spot. And oh my goodness, this spot that we are going to next week is absolutely gorgeous. It's just amazing. So you don't want to miss that. So please join us for that. And until then, write your own story, guys.
Yeah, so we'll see you next Tuesday at 8 p.m. for what's going to be an absolutely incredible vlog. I'm really excited for it. So yeah, keep writing your own story. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next Tuesday.